Welcome to the Power Guys channel. Today we're going to talk about an Orient Power 48100 PW. That's the 48 volt 100 amp hour Powerwall battery. We bought these, several of them, about a little over a year ago, and the purpose was to test them and see how reliable they were and check their serviceability. And today we're going to check the serviceability because the two that's been in service, one's got a problem. The baby laying right here on the table. We're gonna have to open it up and see what's going on with it. They were running for almost a year, right at a year, and they were both doing fine. And one day, number two, this one over voltaged, and one cell had an over voltage, and it went to about 3.7. I think it was about 3.7 millivolts. I said millivolts. About 3.7 volts, and that caused the pack to shut off. We were playing with it, and as we touched it a couple of times, we noticed that it would go back down to normal, but it wasn't consistent, so we decided to take it off the wall and see what was going on. And we're going to look under the hood and see if there's anything obvious. The reason we got the Orient Power that hangs on the wall was two reasons. One of them was you can get them up and out of the way. That's like a really nice feature, and that's what we wanted in this case, was a battery that was up out of the reach of little kids' fingers, and it would clear up floor space over the server rack batteries, which these do stick out from the wall. Keep that in mind. The server racks are going to stick out a little bit further, but they're going to take floor space. These will sit up a little bit higher because they hang on the wall. The other part we liked about this Orient Power, which Jacopere, SOK, and some other batteries have the same build, is they're bolted together. So if a cell goes bad, you can actually remove the cell. And we're in Alaska. We have problems shipping back and forth to the lower 48 with the lithium iron phosphate type, any kind of lithium battery. The shippers get a little squeamish, so we have to be packed correctly, and sometimes you pay a hazardous fee on there. So we wanted something we could work on ourselves. Today we're going to look at see if there's anything obviously loose, balance lead, or maybe one of the bolts is loose in there. So if that's all we can do, that's fine. If this doesn't work and we see nothing obvious, then we'll have to contact the Orient Power people. They've been really good about getting back to us when we had any kind of a question, usually about a day later. So, we're about a day behind on our communication, but we want to get this one back in service as soon as possible. So let's pull the top off, look in here and see what's going on. I've already taken the screws out, just in case anybody wonders why the top just come off. So we've looked through this thing, and what we're looking at is everything seems tight up here. We've come across one problem, and it's interesting that this showed up like after almost a year. We're getting ready just to do the 1 year review on it, and you can see where the ribbon cable goes into the BMS. It's kind of sitting cockeyed right there. It's jacked out on this side, and what we're going to try to do is we'll see if we can push it in. And probably guessing that that's going to be our problem. Yeah, that was definitely out. Make sure the side's in here. Okay, it was so loose that it was actually rocking back and forth. Check it. Okay, it's not rocking now. Yeah, it was never pushed in all the way, it appeared. Okay, we're going to let it go. That looks to be the problem right there, where the balance leads plug into the BMS, or actually, I'm not going to say they plug into the BMS. They go from the BMS over to this board over here. So there's something kind of messed up there. We'll check the BMS plugins as well. And these look all good right here. They're back down inside here. Let's use this tool. Yep, those all seem snug. Interesting. Okay, now we're going to check. Let's check these right here real quick. Carefully. We're not using, well, that's a little loose right there, I can tell you that. This is the farmer torque method, I guess. I'm just not too tight, but these definitely have a different degree of tightness to them. Okay, this side was slightly, there were several over here that had some movement in them, and not using a torque wrench, you know, a digital kind of a torque meter. We're just kind of guessing. We might come back with that some future time. But several of these over here seem to be loose enough to where there was a little bit of play. It shouldn't cause the problem we were seeing, though. There wasn't enough. It's not like you could screw with your hand. I'm guessing it's going to be that part down there. So with that, we don't really have anything else under the hood for this one. That was just a little test. We want to wrap this thing up, going to put it back together, put it in service, and see how it goes, because we want to do a 1-year review on these things. And that will be the next video coming out regarding Orient Power. Hopefully we'll have some before that. If you want to know more about us, you can check us out. We have a PowerCast video, and that will give you a little information on who we are, what we do, and why we think we can sit and talk about these things like we know what we're talking about. So anyway, that'll do it for this video. We're going to put it in, and hopefully it works. Here we go.
All right, guys, we got the battery back on the wall. We've actually had it up here for about 3 weeks because we wanted to test it and make sure that it was going to work right. And so far, everything has been working just fine. No undervoltage or overvoltage. So that little cable that was a little crooked, that was not pushed in all the way, that was the problem. Easy fix. Always good idea to start with the easy stuff first, because in this case, that's all it was. No need to go further than that. So hopefully this was helpful, and thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.